Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoco.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, the Ruler School Circuit Series now offering our 2024 Quarter 1 Circuit Kits, and our guest lecturer members, Fight Ramen. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours featuring myself, DMO73, and I'm joined as always by my Grants.
Hello, I'm playing with the lighting in here, and it's getting worse.
Yay! Paul Reisman.
Embracing the orange.
And, the last audience. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Dude.
Look at these
It's
guys.
so good. It's
What's
so
better than this?
good.
What's better than this? Just guys being dudes.
Gerardo Felix made this and shipped it to us, and dear heavens, it's perfect. I love this little guy so much.
Gerardo, where's my Val?
This is so amazing.
No.
Oh, actually, no. Gerardo, where's my Kiki?
No, he is working on a Ryzen and an Intel, the little clowns, which I think are pretty cool. Yeah, but the first one was last audience, and I'm very excited about it.
What did I say, Jeremy? If Forceful has no fans, Jeremy's dead.
Yeah, if Forceful has no fans,
audience.
Jeremy's dead. Yeah, that's true. I'm dead if that's the case. So, before we get started, let's just give a few reminders out there. As always, if you like the channel and want to consider supporting what we do, you can consider clicking that join button down below. It is the easiest way to financially support, or as well as just liking and sharing and subscribing and all that jazz. We also have pre-orders up right now for Pilgrim Memories through Odyssey Games, and you can go to our website in the link in the description to go ahead and we got 3 days left to get your first ever circuit kit from the Ruler School Circuit, or talk to your sword about getting one. You also can sign up for our Discord circuit, which is taking place on February 10th and 11th. The information to get signed up for that is also on our website, and we'll hope to see you there. So, all that jazz out of the way, we got more spoilers to talk about, and we will get to eventually our exclusive spoilers, but you gotta stay tuned for when I'm gonna throw that at you. This week was a lot of reprints, including some updated text on some reprints to see some changes, so we'll talk about those as we go. But we also did get to see some new cards, so let's go ahead and just jump right in. Our first one was Tinkerbell, Spirit of the Light Trials. We've seen this card before. The only change to this card's text was just some clarifying language on its enter effect to make it very clear that it doesn't really matter how the resonator was put into your field. It's just that those cost resonators were put into your field. This is mainly particularly helpful with the new cards like Albrecht, where your opponent can take your resonators and put them into the field for you. Will still work under the sake of Tinkerbell. Thoughts on a Marvel Rare getting a reprint into the rare slot?
Tinkerbell never really felt like a Marvel Rare to me, in all honesty. You know, her effect's cool. It's got some cool stuff to it, but I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's good people can actually get a hand on this thing, because it's pretty strong.
Yeah, I think this card has a lot of good splashability and is a pretty good, just a really cool example of what a cool board wipe or an interactive kind of flex card exists nowadays in white, along with some other stuff. So this to me is a really good card in the sense of again, you have to imagine, what if a player who's never picked up Force of Will wants to play competitively? What would be cards that we would tell them that while they might not go in every deck, if you can find a deck that they work in, they will do well, to have them pick up. And Tinkerbell feels like very much in that slot. It's not in every deck, but the decks that it works in, it's very good.
It was a star player at Worlds, so I will say, people who want to try and build around that toolbox style of deck, you're going to need a couple of these.
Yeah.
There's a couple of destruction cards in white, and this is one of them. So to see this getting reprint, I think it's pretty good. Flashing Smile is already a normal, so those are pretty easy to find right now. If we see it reprinted, I wouldn't be disappointed. But I think getting a premium destruction effect in white out to new players or returning players, I think is really important. So I'm in favor of newer cards getting reprint very quickly.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me too. Like, I understand that there might be many players who don't need this, which I totally get. But again, the whole purpose of Pilgrim Memories, I've talked about this at locals a lot with newer players. Pilgrim Memories is trying to hit 3 audiences all at once, and I think it's doing a very good job of that. It's hitting the get old guard players back in by enticing them with new support for their nostalgia feel and give them Wanderer staple stuff. Great, hits that. Gets people who've never played the game before a solid core buy-in set that gets them Wanderer staples and very playable decks. I think that's definitely hit. And giving current players who don't necessarily need the reprints extra copies so they can build out more decks, as well as a bunch of new stuff to play with. So I think it's doing a really good job of hitting all 3 of those lines. Tinkerbell, I think, really fills in the category of like sets 1 and 2, like prongs 1 and 2, which I think is good to see. Next up, we have our first reprint that got an errata, as long as Discord decides to be... Oh, nope. Okay, XSplit's not gonna do kind things today. That's okay. We don't have as many things to do today, so it's fine. We've got Gretel.
XSplit.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. It's a little weird. We got Gretel. So finally gonna definitely come off the ban list, we could imagine. Fairy Tale Human. The only change to this card's text is now it specifically reveals a basic magic stone with the mint wind magic stone type. You put it into the field. So it's no longer any stone with wind. It's just specifically basic magic stones, which arguably is still pretty cool because we've had some very cool basic magic stone decks. It also makes Gretel surprisingly a fun card for limited. Like, I might actually take one of my limited Gretels, like one of these new Gretels, if I can get it in foil, and put it in the cube, because there's a little bit of a like basic magic stone package in the cube kind of stuff. So it's cool to see them reapproaching these cards that are on the ban list and kind of tweaking them so that they're not really a concern to bring off the ban list.
They should have given her 400 stats. Just, if you're going to make a green soul, make her a green soul, please. Pretty please.
Let's see if I can change it. Nope, it's just going to make me add a new card every single time, and that is okay.
Yay!
Yay!
Behaving.
Yay! It's fine. It's not crashing like it did last week, so it's fine. We have Pandora, the goddess of light and dark, 1 white, 1 black human. We've seen this card before. No changes. This card was originally in Vingolf 3. With the fact that the new Pandora extension rule lets you cheat this out for 1 will at instant speed, this is a hell of a card. Like, this card is suddenly, like, sure, it's only in that deck, but also, here's the funny thing. Did you know that you can just choose to play that extension rule in literally any ruler? You don't have to use the double Pandoras.
Jeremy, are you telling me, are you and I going to be putting this in
Dragon Millium? Yeah, I was about to say, are we about to play some Dragon Millium?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Blue, white, back, dragon.
I'm going to force. Oh, going to go to my turn? I'm going to force again.
Force again.
Our dragon power counters are glowing.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely going to be playing blue, white, black, dragon power Millium with the Pandora extension rules so that we can play this card at instant speed.
This sounds dank. I'm so excited.
I mean, I want to play it. Like, legitimately, I want to play it on the channel.
Wait, isn't there a Pandora that makes you... No, there's a
roll an additional die?
Yeah,
which is also a Pandora, so that you can...
Can we just make Pandora tribal? Are we just
we probably already are. We probably already were, but we were also going to play Dragon Millium just because.
Man, because you just got the power counters, and then Dragon Millium also gets to just flash in the Pandora that makes all your seals unsealed, and then you have free cancels.
The Brad spells. Yeah, listen. This seems dumb. This seems dumb, but there's a deck there. Like, there's a deck you can absolutely play there.
This is the dumbest. This is the best bad deck I think we've come up with in quite some
This
time.
is better than Prego TK in terms of being bad but good.
Don't you dare!
You know I'm
Slander.
not. You know it's true. But I mean, like this card in general is just like pretty solid. Like stat line wise, it's pretty on par with other 2-drops. It's got a really cool effect. It was just like hard to get online. So when you add to the fact that suddenly it can be cheaper and also quick cast and not being cast, like it no longer, it can dodge Fair Spell, it can drop Doll Cancels, like that's not nothing. It's also life loss too. Like that's also good. Like any form of life loss in this game is good, right? So it's very cool to see this card.
Pandora extension with Mikage and Brazuki, also cool, more protection from Exorcist Mage. Exorcist Mage also dunks on this stupid deck that we're coming up with, so that's really funny.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. But we're okay with that. We accept it.
I'm cool with it. I'm happy to get dunked on by Exorcist Mage.
Yeah, let it happen. It's fine. Next up, we have on Magic Stone Dance of Chaos is getting a reprint. Unchanged. Text is unchanged. Not really sure why this one is seeing a reprint in the slots necessarily. I haven't really seen anything of the support so far that wants a bunch of stones or sacking a bunch of stones.
I mean, maybe it's maybe it's to get the True Magic Stone. More chances at that.
That's true. True. More chances to get the True Magic Stones live, so that you can.
I'm grasping at straws here. All right.
Yeah, I don't. But also, like this card has some cool implications and some clever decks that you can build. So, we do know that in certain parts of the world, this card was actually very hard to find. I think in Europe, it's still sitting at like $7-8 a pop. So having it be like this is just kind of a nice utility reprint just to put into the environment and let people get creative with. There's nothing really out of hand that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to try with this, but it is neat to see.
Oh.
It's a stable red card. Like,
yeah,
it's just good. Plus, it also introduces you to the force resonance mechanic, right? So if you're returning, this is probably important.
In this
no, I get that, but it also introduces you to the text of force resonance as a new player or a returning player. Like that's kind of important to like introduce those things, and so that's to introduce the mechanic again with the help text is going to be really useful, especially for newer players.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, we have Snow White of the Red Apple and Apple Avenger getting a reprint. So one of the split cards. We're probably going to see several of the split cards being reprinted in this set. I can't imagine that we don't. This is cool because it counts as an Apple chant for the cool Snow White deck. So that's also really nice. Cool. So this is just a good one. This was also, this card was specifically from Magic Stone War, I believe. So that's an older set, so it's nice to be able to get into the hands of players that haven't been able to get it, and it just happens to also align with this cool stuff that Snow White wants to do. So neat.
Nice little tie-in.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. Next up, we have another Marvel Rare. We have being reprinted in the rare slot. We have Crimson Wolf, Lost Wolf of the Crimson Moon. This one...
This is recent.
I get it. This is the same set as Tinkerbell. I get it. It's designed to kind of coincide with the Little Red. Like it's very clearly designed to be part of the Little Red. I think many of the community is looking at the Grim Little Red support and like going right past Grim to look at Aristella 2 plus Little Red, which I understand completely why they would be doing that. But this card in general with Little Red is nice, right? Any kind of deck that's running Little Red. So as a core set of like, I don't have Aristella 2, I just have Grim and Little Red or something plus Little Red. Lone Wolf is a cool card to add into that mix for them to be able to goof around with. So you can always play the Pandora extension rule. Play the Pandora extension rule in Turbo Seal. Yeah, play it in Brunhild.
Oh yeah, you can cheat things in for stupid cheap from the grave and hand.
Yeah. Yeah, Dance of Chaos is a 15+ euro card in Europe. Jeez Louise. Okay, yeah, let's get that card into the market.
Yeah. They got to throw a lot of their Monopoly money over there at this thing.
100%.
Lone Wolf Lone Wolf reprint to go with the Godly Aura reprint. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. Godly Aura and this card work very, very well together. So it makes sense to be able to get those cards both to new players. My trade binder is going to be full of stuff that I don't need, but I will gladly get to other people.
To be fair, there's a lot of reprints in this set that I technically haven't gotten because I haven't played for so well in like 2 years.
Hey, so we'll send a bunch of stuff to Mike.
There you go.
So we have Chivalry's Tears.
Are we confirmed getting full arts too?
We don't know anything about the packs art.
As well?
I imagine there are probably full arts.
Okay.
But we don't know what it looks like.
If there are, that's just another way of like getting another Lone Wolf copy at this point. So if that card's like just out of reach for you at this point, cool. Now you get more full arts and they're a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. Next up, we have Chivalry's Tears. Pretty staple red card that's finding its way into a lot of tech slots for non-red decks as well, or like splash red decks as well. So of the Brad spells, this is probably the one that I would be most interested in seeing reprinted, because it does have a lot of cool applications. We're seeing it teched in a lot of different ways. So also a cool card to add into the environment. Nothing really to say about that. It's just a nice red card to give to newer players. Next up, we have one that I think we can talk a little bit about this. Magic Stone of Moonshade, good choice. The choice for the artwork has caused a little bit of an uproar. Not necessarily a little bit of an uproar. I mean, there's been some contention a little bit here, rumblings, because it is the Kaguya promo artwork, which is the GP artwork. So
it's not the first time the GP artwork has been reprinted, though.
Yeah, that's very true. I think in general, I'm happy for players to be able to have this artwork, right? That GP season was mostly online. I think maybe one was in person. It was like in the height of COVID. So like, I think it's cool for people to be able to get this artwork without having to shovel an arm and a leg into a furnace. And
and then this
like,
and this artwork being printed in this rarity and like even as a full art or this version doesn't cheapen like the novelty of the GP promo. I feel like people need to remember that, because there's a lot of like, if you remember the what were the in AO1, what were the names of the reprinted promo cards?
The Memoria cards?
Memorias.
The Memorials.
Those did not cheapen anything else around them. First of all, they were ugly as sin. I'll tell you that much.
Because of the weird colored border. Yeah.
Not it, Chief. This one does look nice. Even though this one doesn't look like total dog shit, it does still not cheapen the original one, because the original one has that novelty value to it.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's an element of one of them is a promo and then one of them is just a base rare within the set. So it's a little bit like, we kind of know where yours are coming from.
And also, this harkens back to the original promo Moonshade, which was literally just the Moonshade, just a little bit more full artier.
Yeah, yep, for sure. It's cool to have it get back into people's hands. For again,
it literally
players, right?
also just depicts Kaguya, because Kaguya is in the set.
Yeah,
so
it's almost as if Kaguya's an important character.
Here you go. Here's the
Kaguya
stone.
Crazy. Next up, we have Gilderoy the Golden. Next up, we have Gilderoy the Golden Dragon. The only text that has been changed here is updating the language to entity, which has been important with the Fire Magic Stone type. So keep that in mind. So things that count as Fire Magic Stones would count here. It also is updated to banishing 3 entities you control with the Fire Magic Stone type instead of just stones. So it's actually a little bit of a buff, because previously Gilderoy only would sack stones, whereas now you could sack things like, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Soldier of My List, or things like that, that are able to gain it, because it doesn't say it doesn't say Magic Stone entities with fire, it just says entities with. So it's actually a little bit of a buff to Gilderoy, which I think is neat.
Yeah.
Big old Durgan.
Still not going to see any play,
Also
but
works
cool.
really well with that Magic Stone Dance of Chaos.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Neat.
That's an interesting element, yeah.
Still not going to see play,
Make him-
but whatever.
I mean, well, we also have the parrot dragon
Yeah.
that we talked about last week. So like, there is a world where you can start making Gilderai very, very cheap, and then start doing
Yeah.
some cool stuff. So that's interesting. Nyarlathotep doll also. Yep, she would count as well.
That's pretty cute.
Next up, we have one of Paul's favorite reprints in the set, Fiola, the Spirit of Oblivion.
This is a
As I
dank
move the
reprint.
background. This card, I mean, this is just
You're
like the
back.
quintessential staple reprint. Like, there is nothing about this that I would not like. This makes sense. Everything about putting this into this set is like, yep, that tracks. Understand it fully and completely. Tracks for me 100%.
This card has been good since release.
Yeah,
Like, it's
Not
just a
necessarily-
staple blue card.
not necessarily like in every deck or in every meta, but like this card continues to pop up, like, and see some, tech slotting for sure. Solid card. Next up, we have our next ones from today, which is our next updated card text, which is the reprint of Law of Silence. So obviously coming off the ban list, now being shaped to play this card only if you control a J/ruler named Christie the Windtracker or Helsing, so it's ruler specific. And it's actually been updated to say target player, which means if a player can give themselves barrier in response, this will fizzle. Or you can play things like Magic Rebound and make your opponent not be able to play spells until the end of the turn.
And you can target the person across from you in ABC.
That's true. It also does become ABC
That's
playable because
really
you can
funny.
then target the player for sure, because it'll no longer say your opponent. So that's an interesting update for the ABC concept as well. But you'd have to then
Oh,
get
can you magical
you'd have to
rebound? Can you
get to
magical
you'd have to
rebound
get
this?
to Christie. Yes, you could. You
Oh,
could Magic Rebound it.
you can't play spells this turn.
Did it
think
always
you
say
also
target
get
player?
Ra the Golden Bird.
Ra the Golden Bird would have to redirect the target to Ra. I don't think that would quite work.
The Winds
Target
of
Ra.
Gold, I think, works.
Now I'm looking it up.
Oh, yeah.
Did it always say
Target
that?
player.
Target
Yeah, it did
player.
say
You're not wrong.
But it says normal spells and summon spells. So they did update the text. Ha!
Yeah, because now it just says spells of all types. So
Yeah.
we did it.
We don't need to
We did it,
confuse people with normal spells and summon spells.
Yeah, would make it a lot more streamlined.
Oh, good.
So, next up
Oh,
we have
they updated the flavor text too from the original one.
yeah.
Oh, I really hope we get a reprint for Flames of Outerworld so they can fix the goddamn flavor text.
Nope. Next up we have Athos, the Three Musketeers, a fully expected reprint. 100%. We knew this card was coming as soon as we saw the Musketeer support. Like, we knew what was happening. It searches your deck for a card addition that can be added to a resonator and reveal it and put it into your hand. If you control a J-Ruler named Puss, it's added to it instead. One thing to note about this is that under the current rules, technicality-wise, an addition that has the keyword bestow can be added to a resonator, which means Athos can grab any addition that can bestow and just attach it. Things like Hero's Bracelet. Just go
Pretty
get
decent.
that shit. Like,
Plus
there's a whole
4,
bunch
plus
of things
4
that-
swiftness, barrier precision. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
there's
nuts.
a whole bunch of stuff that you could do with this card. Like,
Man,
it's cool.
what's the funniest thing? Let me see. I know it's
Amino
pretty funny.
Habakiri is probably the dumbest currently. You could technically attach Heavenly Feathered Robe to it for some strange reason if you want to just make your Athos not be able to do anything. That's all I got.
We got yeah, these are all trash. Feed Six Monocle will turn him into a dork.
Yeah, Feasting's Monocle turned him into a mana
Yeah.
dork. Let's go.
Oh, you
That's
could
exactly what to do.
you could kimono. You can kimono
Yes.
him. Just
You can indeed.
You can kimono
just
him.
You can just attach a kimono to him and then bestow the other
I'm
kimonos.
gonna play Puss Kaguya and then use the new
Kimonos.
aid.
Trials
just-
to make a bunch of. Yep, that's a very real thing of just like use trials to make a grabbing the kimonos that much faster. Like, which keep in mind is very interesting because of the fact that One for All and All for One gives Athos barrier. So then you are playing Boggles like right out the gate by just stacking a bunch of stuff onto Athos.
Let's go. Let's go.
Technically, you can get Athos. So, like, here's the thing. Turn 1, there's a lot of things you can do, and we're not going to go down into it. Technically, if you're playing Kaguya, and if you are playing Kaguya Puss in Boots, and you go turn 1 for all for one, search up Richelieu and Athos, play the Athos, or give them the Richelieu, get the Athos. Athos grabs 12 kimonos. You can then have the Athos with belligerents kill the Richelieu, and then just go get another 12 kimonos, and just for 1 will at the beginning of the game, have Athos with 2 kimonos on it. Kimonos.
Kimonos.
Play some boggles. Have a good time. And then cry when your opponent flips over Abdul and turns off 1 for all and all for one, and then shoots Athos in the face. Like, I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on.
And you can't add metal life. You can't add metal life forms to him. That's
Yeah, you can't add metal life forms, unfortunately, because
so
they are
sad.
not additions. They count as additions when you're adding them. Sorry. Converging Wills gave us some new spoilers, so let's go ahead and talk about those. They gave us 5. First up, we have Elven Archer, which is a 1-drop quick cast 4/4 elf. Enter rest target resonator your opponent controls. If you control an elf J/ruler, the chosen target loses all abilities and becomes a 100/100 until the next end of your turn, meaning during your opponent's turn, it does nothing, and then on your turn, it still does nothing. And then it says, whenever a elf J/resonator you control destroys a non-human J/resonator, you may put this card from your graveyard into your hand. So you can continue to recycle it. Interestingly enough, this just lets Christie ignore Electra entirely.
Great.
You just make Electra a 100. It also you just make Electra a 100/100 and just be like, cool, you hit me for 100 damage. I can't block, but she's a 100/100 and she can't swing. Go to my turn. Like, killer. It's nice. This card has a lot of cool implications. It's very cool.
Those got those bags under her eyes are designer. Holy crap!
She's very tired.
Me too, fam.
Paul, any thoughts about Elvish Archer?
Just a good elf. Like, it's good to get good elves again.
Yeah.
Especially
Agreed.
since this can come in off of Sacred Elf for free, right? Because you're paying with
that's true.
Sacred Elf, and you're probably running Sacred Elf with Alberic in your deck. So
That's
being
true.
able to flood the field pretty quickly is really nice.
Yep. This is cool for like Fairer as well, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
this is even because that's an elf. It doesn't specify Christie. It just says elves, right? So like any of this elf support that like wants you to control elves is good for token feasting. It's good for Fairer. It's good for Christie. Like all of them have splashability outside of it, which again goes back to what we talked about last week. Is they are very clearly hinting at some introductory ideas for what you to play with this, but they are not being prescriptive with what you have to do with this set. They want you to take it outside of Grim Cluster and be experimenting with it, which I think is so cool for the design of this set. Set's so hype. Freaking love it. Next up we have grow big, please. Elixir of Eternal, 2-cost treasury item, so you could get it off trials, just as a heads up. Enter up to 1 target resonator, or up to 1 target resonator gains Eternal, as long as this card is in the field. At the end of the turn, this card's controller banishes it. If they do, apply the following effect. Up to 1 addition gains Eternal until the end of the game. Let's just give Grail Eternal? Sure, let's do it. Until the end of your turn, J-Rulers you control with Kaguya in their name gain imperishable, and you can pay 0 to play this card from your standby area without paying its cost. You cannot play this ability during the turn this card was put into your standby area. We got new standbys, kind of, but it's an addition, and it kind of still works the same as standbys. Great.
Kind of.
Sign me up.
You did it.
We've done it.
Ba-ba.
We did it. It's cool. I mean, like, this is nothing to shake home a stick about, but the next card that is the same kind of effect is certainly very, very good.
Very
Which
shakeable.
is very shakeable. This is Kaguya, Seer of the Crimson Moon. Moon human, 3 cost, 7/12, so big old defense. Target up to 1 other resonator. Its controller may discard a card. If you do, you can search your deck for a treasury item and put it into the field. Otherwise, return a chosen target to its owner's hand. If you search your deck, shuffle it. So essentially, you get to say, that thing, put it back in your hand or give me a treasury item. Or like, put that back in your hand or lose a card in your hand and give me a treasury item. So forces them to kind of either go -2 or -1, which I think is great. And it says, whenever you play a card from your standby area, draw a card. Ugh. I'm so happy about that text. And at the end of your turn, return this card to its owner's hand. If you control a J ruler named Seer of the Blue Moon, Moon Princess, or Kaguya in its name, you may put it from the field face down into your standby area, and then it has that same pay 1 blue ability to be able to recycle it. Keep in mind that the helpfulness about that text is that you wouldn't be able to, like, pay blue, put it in, end of turn, bring it back, pay blue again before going to the next turn, put it back in again. Like, you will only be able to get the effect of this once per turn per card, right? But dang, is this card good. Like,
So because of that continuous effect, I'm assuming it does not see itself enter the field to draw a card.
No, it would not.
Right. Good.
Because it wouldn't be on the field. Yeah, because it wouldn't be on the field while you're playing it.
Yeah. Grey Grumble, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, good. And XSplit is seeing that it hears me. Grey Grumbler is saying he doesn't have sound. Can the rest of the chat hear me? Chat? Hello?
Hello?
Say words, chat, if you can hear Deer Bear.
Yeah, just let me know in the chat. I mean, it doesn't look. It looks like we're having good. It says stream. Gray, I'm sorry. Just refresh the page, maybe, or maybe you're being kicked into an ad. That might be a thing.
Yikes!
YouTube auto does ads. Okay, good. Thank you, chat. Yeah, this Kaguya is insane, and I love it, and it's exactly the kind of thing that I wanted to, like, give me stealth in a way back. So give me more of it in future sets to make me even more happy. But yes, very good. Next up we have Servant of the Moon. This is old Valhalla promo artwork, which is very nice, by the way. It's cool to see it get reused. Same with Albrecht. Albrecht was also Valhalla art, but being reused. Enter, you may put target treasury item or moon from your graveyard into your hand. At the beginning of your end phase, you may put up to 3 non-magic stone treasury items or moons from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck. If one or more cards are removed this way, draw a card. So if you recycle, draw, and then it taps to produce moon. Very, very neat as a mana dork. Just a very staple, cool blue mana dork for moon stuff.
Card.
Recycle. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, cool card. Nothing to shake a stick at, but cool card. Lastly, we have an actual new rabbit resonator. It's been 100 years, but we finally got a new rabbit. This is the Keeper of Treasury Items. 1 blue, 1/5. If you would put a non-magic stone treasury item from anywhere into your deck, you can put it into your Treasury EX deck instead, which means you don't have to, like, clog your deck up. Like, getting the treasuries out there now means you've successfully fully thinned your deck for forever. If you control a J ruler with Seer of the Blue Moon, Moon Princess, or Kaguya, you may play 1 less to play treasury items, which is very nice. Enter, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, put a treasury item or moon from among them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Pretty neat.
That's a good card.
That's a good card.
But also we got bunnies. Now we can bring out more bunnies.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's Aspiring Diva for treasuries. That has other benefits.
Aspiring Diva, but better because it's not a mermaid. It's a rabbit. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, it's also a rabbit, so there you go. Hey, rabbits
Doesn't
are just
produce
better.
will. I don't care.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys want to see our exclusive spoilers?
You should make a
Yeah.
poll, Jeremy. I'll vote no.
You'll vote now. Okay.
I'll vote no.
I'm gonna. Here's the thing. We're gonna chat about this. I'm gonna give a vote in the chat. We're gonna do. I'm gonna do a vote real fast.
Remember,
Community
make sure you guys
participation.
vote for the spoiler that makes me pog out of my mind.
Kind of spoilers. First, multicolor, monocolor.
Is that even a question?
Yeah, it is. We'll see what people decide they want to see. Meanwhile, we can talk about how awesome this last audience is. Friggin', oh my gosh. I love this guy so much.
Gerardo Felix,
Doop, doop.
you're still in the chat right now.
Friggin'.
I like things.
It's the unofficial official Jeremy Franklin promo, and now we have it as this. I have it in real life as this cool thing. I almost cosplayed as this at FowFest. I tried to put together a little last audience cosplay. I also have thought about trying to put it together for next Worlds so that at the start of the GP stream I could just be sitting on camera as lost audience and just be like not moving and have that be the intro to Worlds.
Whoever's voting monocolor, do you like having your toast plain or do you like things on it? Because this is what I'm kind of getting right now. Come on.
Hey, yeah, most of the people are voting multicolor, but we'll see.
I love just simple toast.
Buttered toast is nice. Just
okay,
nice.
I didn't say
Toast is
butter. I
very
said
nice.
plain. I said plain.
It's just toasted bread.
Like the sensation of
to be fair.
glass in my throat. Thank you.
Oh,
Understandable.
please, no. Trigger warning.
It's toast with nothing on it.
Paul, if you want me to,
well,
if you want me to recover a core memory for you, bits of glass muffin.
pizza glass muffin.
It is
Okay,
a
well,
core
let's
memory for me.
monocolor has been chosen, so let's jump into it. First up, we have dun, 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 dun. Ghost of Orleans. It is a red-blue edition human ghost. Enter. You may search your deck for a card with Gilderai in its name and or a human resonator and put them into your graveyard if you do shuffle your deck. Remove a human resonator from your graveyard from the game. Put a 1/1 fire human ghost resonator token into the field. Tap, destroy 3 non-ruler humans you control, which, keep in mind, can be also this edition because it doesn't say resonators. It just says non-ruler humans. If you do, you may put a card with Gilderai in its name from your graveyard into the field, and it gains, when this card leaves the field, heal an astral ruler you control named Nameless Girl until end of game. Play this ability only if you control a ruler named Nameless Girl.
The phrase named Nameless Girl is the funniest thing on this card.
I know,
But
right?
anyway.
So funny. Gilderai Resurrection. There's your reason why we're playing Gilderai, right?
Yeah, you can put it into your grave.
Yeah. And then reanimate it. All you need is another single human. It does say so here's one thing that's interesting. It does specifically say non-human ruler. It doesn't say non-human J ruler. And if I believe correctly, Joan d'Arc is a human.
No, on their flip side, I think she's a nightmare. Oh, she might be a nightmare.
She's a nightmare human.
She's a nightmare human. So here's the interesting thing here. You can
It destroys
use this
her
to
so
send
you
them
can
both.
heal her.
You can do the human resonator token, this edition, and your Nameless Girl or Joan d'Arc. Kill all 3 of them. Get out Gilderai. Oh, it does say play this ability only if you control a ruler named Nameless Girl. So maybe that doesn't work because it's not as cost. So you wouldn't just control her quite yet. But there's easy ways to make humans. Why does this?
Peter Eckersley, you could flash in one of the Pandoras, which are humans, and then sack them for the kill.
That's true. You could do that.
3-color.
Why does this cost
Nameless
2?
Girl Turbo.
Why does this cost 2? Because it potentially gets you Gilderai for free. I don't understand. That seems pretty good. Making Gilderai go from a 6-drop to a 2-drop seems pretty decent.
Something really weird though is that like this card is meant to cheat out Gilderoy, but Gilderoy does not benefit from being cheated out because he scales based on your magic stones. So there's
But
a
he
little
also
bit
has
of conflict of
swiftness.
interest.
Well, it doesn't even
Oh
scale
yeah,
about. It doesn't scale off of just magic stones though. Now it scales off of things that have the fire magic stone type, and things like magic stone dance of chaos. So we could have a bunch of magic stones very very quickly. Like I'm just saying, there's some Gilderoy lines here that make sense for this.
you should get a better Gilderoy down the line, but that's fine.
Okay,
I'm not
Echo.
gonna...
You're allowed to not like things. I'm sorry for your loss. I think this card's neat.
Wait, actually, wait. Is there only okay? I'm gonna tinfoil hat right now. One sec.
Paul, you have any thoughts on this card?
I think making Geel easier to make is just good for the deck as it was meant to be played. So like if you're trying to play a retro format with like modern support and you want to play that deck again, here you go. You can play your dragon. Is it good? I don't care. I don't care. It's just cool. It's just cool to see the dragon actually gets to be made. And you can pair it with Fault Gold and other stuff. It's just cool.
My tinfoil hat's on, boys.
All right, Mike, what do you got?
There's one card in the game currently that has Gilderoy in its name, which means we're getting more cards that have Gilderoy in their name, which we can cheat in with this card. I'm saying it right now.
That's an interesting choice. Here's the next one. Executioner of Orleans. 2 cost 9/6 with first strike and bane. It is a human knight. Human J/resonators you control gain precision. Whenever this card destroys a resonator, put a 100/100 fire human ghost resonator token into the field. Pay 0, destroy another target human resonator. If you do, draw a card. Play this ability only during main timing and only once per turn.
It's a card.
Yeah. It's a thing to enable the engine of Joan d'Arc, Nameless Girl.
This card would have been so good like 3 or 4 years ago. But anyway, card's decent.
Yeah. It helps the engine for
it's fine.
Joan d'Arc. Yeah.
To say only during main timing. Why did they do that?
Knight. I'm gonna see when the last time we got a knight.
That's true. It's been a bit.
Night Tribal. Tinfoil hat's going back on. Night Tribal.
Do it.
I like this card. Keep it said. It does say. It doesn't say another target human you control. It just says another target human resonator, which is interesting because you can use. So here's the other interesting thing that you can do with this card is you can give your opponent a human, make red blue, play Executioner, and then kill the human you gave them and draw a card. So like. That's a thing, right?
Wait. Hold on. What does Mika do? What are the tokens that Mika makes? Does Mika make a human for your opponent? Oh my god. Oh.
That's another interesting thing here. Yes, 1300 100 with first strike and bane because it's a water human, right? So when you're playing that edition, this also becomes a 1310 that has first strike and bane and precision. So this card is like pretty dang good for red blue, like Nameless Girl focus decks. It's very, very cool. Like again, it works really, really well with the edition. Like it synergizes really, really well. I'm very excited about it. Again, give your opponent a human, make red blue, play Executioner, kill the human you just gave them, draw a card, go in. Like great. Seems just fine for me. Like that seems good. And then you make a token when you kill the token. Or kill the human that you just gave them. You kill it, and then you get to have the body back. Because you can't give them a token off of the new, like, girl, like, edition. But it's still very neat. This card is awesome. I like it a lot.
There's a lot of humans in this game.
Oh, we have so many. We have so many humans in this game, Paul. Let's go to some Monocolor spoilers. We got 2 more to show you tonight.
Boo, Monocolor.
Boo. Where is it? Here's the first one. We're going to some Dracula support.
Ooh, Dracula.
We have Vampire Baron, 2 cost Vampire Nightmare, 8/8 with flying and drain. Whenever this card destroys a resonator, you may put that resonator into its owner's graveyard and into the field under your control. Rested, it gains Nightmare and Vampire, so it's like the mini Dracula effect. And then you can banish a Resonator you control but not own to put this card from your graveyard into the field. If you do control a J/ruler named Alucard or Dracula, this card gains swiftness until end of turn. Play this ability only if this card is in your graveyard. So if you're successfully stealing your opponent's stuff, you can just keep bringing this guy back and steal more of their stuff.
Die, monster! Mankind
And he's
needs a savior such as you.
And he's overstated for a 2-drop.
Oh, he's a 2-drop? I thought he was a 3-drop for a second. Holy shit.
Nope,
Okay.
he's overstated for a 2-drop.
Yeah, that's know what?
Insane.
This
is a good card to send with Mikage Rhea. It's a cool card to send with Mikage Rhea, right? Dump this in the graveyard and then set it up for the future. Play things like Asmodeus Enchantment, which you can steal stuff from your opponent's graveyard and then banish it and reanimate this guy and do all kinds of cool stuff. Like, this card's nice. I like it. It's very cool Dracula support. Having like a mini Dracula seal effect.
Nightmare spotted! Nightmare spotted!
Oh, yeah. Also, bring the Baron back. Oh, look, Laura comes back as well. Yep. The Vampire Baron will also bring back Laura when it gets reanimated. Vampire Tribal. Vampire Tribal.
No, I'm going to make Nightmare Tribal. Watch me.
Do it. And then my last card for the night. The last card of my exclusive spoilers, because we saw the first one of 5 last week. We have Alucard's Blood. This is a 2-cost Chant Vampire. You may pay 1 less to play this card if you control a J-Ruler named Alucard or Dracula, so it costs you 1. Put target Resonator from your opponent's graveyard into the field under your control. If you do, lose X 100 life, where X is the defense of the chosen Resonator. It gains if you don't control a J/ruler named Alucard. At the next end of turn, this controller's controller banishes it. So, if you're playing it outside of Dracula, you don't get to keep the Resonator forever, right? You only get to keep it for a turn. If you are playing it as Dracula, you just get to keep it. Remove this card in your graveyard from the game. Pay any amount of life. A vampire J/ruler you control deals X 100 damage to your target J/Resonator, where X is the amount of life paid this way. Play this ability only if you control a vampire J/ruler.
Wait.
So ways to proc the when your vampire you control kills a thing effect by just paying life for it. Which, by the way, most of your vampires will have drain because Mikage Rhea is in this format and got reprinted.
Wait.
Great.
Are there any other instances of a ruler dealing damage to something?
This doesn't have your ruler deal damage.
No, it can though. J/ruler instead of J-ruler.
That's ridiculous. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I know. Welcome.
You will deal 0 damage. Congratulations.
No, it still does because you paid life. So you just have a ruler that dealt damage to something.
Oh, that's
to be fair,
insane.
there are rulers that tap
God.
and deal damage to things. Like, they exist, but this is the first effect that actually gives a ruler the ability. Because, like, oh my god.
That's funny.
This is so crazy. This one's nuts.
That's really funny.
This card is very, very good. Like, this card is super good for, even like the idea of I've got a Baron out on the field. You put, like, I'm going to reanimate one of your things that I want to steal really quickly back onto my, or even better, like, you have a thing on the field, right? I'm going to play Alucard, reanimate literally anything from your graveyard, banish it to bring back Baron, and then use this spell to have Baron shoot the thing that I wanted to steal in the first place, and then Baron gets to take it. Like, it's just, like, seems good. And then, like, on top of that, even imagine being able to just, at that point in time, you'll control a vampire and you killed something your opponent controlled, which means you can flip over Dracula. Like, it makes flipping over Dracula significantly easier. Like, this card, because also that RFG card is not main timing. It's instant speed.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Only usable if you control a vampire J/ruler, so it's only usable pretty much exclusively in Vlad or Dracula, I think. Are they only vampires on their front side?
What about
Rhea.
EDW?
Oh, that's true. It's using
Mikage.
Mikage?
Well, there's a lot more than that. Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of vampires, except for the original Mikage Sage,
Mikage.
who is a wanderer.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure.
On the front
But
side,
also,
yeah, that's true.
but also keep in mind that again, being able to give you, I gotta look up Mikage Reia's text really quickly. Hold on.
The card opens up some crazy
Yeah, she gives
implications.
all your vampires drain.
Does she give all vampires you
Crazy.
control drain?
Yes, including herself.
But you don't control your ruler, right?
You do control your rulers. So yeah,
So
they're
vampires
just not
you
in the
control
field.
gain drain. You just
Yeah. So you're just paying
your
literally.
Alucard has drain.
Yeah, your Alucard has drain and just like can refund yourself the cost of this card, which is hilarious. So here's the thing. This is the most hilarious thing. Flash and Mikage Rhea, send this card to the graveyard, sit on Alucard being able to just shoot anything for free. That's so funny. That's so funny and good.
That's literally the dumbest thing. I'm so excited.
Ordered Oborozuki. Yep, she's a vampire, and she would have, and she'd be thick. Yeah, and playing vampires will feel like being a vampire again. Yeah, the very much in flavor with like this. This card is sick. I think this card.
This card is the most vampire card they've ever printed in this game. Yeah. This is the vampire card.
Does Vlad stuff. It does Mikage stuff. Like anything that's any deck that's playing Rhea is dope for this. Even outside, like the reanimate effect in general for Alucard is sick.
Whoa!
But the shoot a thing effect, yeah, I'm listening.
So you're telling me that Rhea makes Vlad Tepes front side ability to drain 2 actually hits for 2 and drains for 4 because it's got drain added to it?
Yeah.
And this has been sitting under our noses this whole time and you didn't even tell me?
You have to pay 2 will for that ability.
No, I know. It's terrible. That's why you didn't tell me.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I apologize. I should have told you sooner.
Now.
I'm sorry. That's on me. Honestly, that's on me.
I know.
That is
Jeremy,
100% on me.
Jeremy, I thought you loved me, Jeremy.
I do love you. I'm sorry. I messed you up. I messed up on this one. But no, this card is sick. Fine. This card is absolutely sick. There's so many cool applications. Like Christopher said in the chat, like this is the stuff that makes vampires actually be able to lean into the vampire-like play style, and it's just really cool to see that. Like, it feels really nice.
You can finally roleplay in your Force of Will game instead of picking a ruler that has the best numbers and words on it, and then
throw vampires in it.
Yeah,
throw vampires in it. Yeah, you're not wrong.
This one has numbers that say 40000.
40,000?
40,000. No, it's okay. It's just 4 avatars.
It's Oh, that's
just
fair.
In a trench coat. They're just standing on top.
4 avatars in a trench coat. Well, this brings up into there's interesting applications for this with things like I said, the world of let's talk about a silly thing that you could do, right? A silly combination. Let's do Christie and Dracula together, right? Alberek is going to put a resonator that I actually want from you into the field, right? I'm probably only paying 1 for it because I probably played Sacred Elf on 1 or something like that. Then I'm going to play Alucard's Blood. I'm going to reanimate something. Then I'm going to banish that thing that I didn't want to grab Baron that I milled on, that I also milled in this series. So like the opening hand needs to be like Alucard's Blood, Rhea, and Baron somehow. I don't know, something. But like as the game progresses or whatever, Alberek takes a resonator that I actually really want. I reanimate the Baron. I then use Alucard's Blood to shoot the thing that I actually wanted to steal it, even though it's a 100-100 because Alberek made it a 100-100, and now it's on my side, and I get it to be big. Like, that's some cool synergy. Christie plus Christie plus Dracula, like that's pretty neat.
All right, chat. I've got a very important question for all of you. Once Pilgrim Memories comes out, especially because GP season is starting around the time that Pilgrim Memories comes out, remember that.
We should. The hope is that we'll probably have GP information by the end of this month. I think maybe early next month.
I need a reminder to everyone: if somebody comes cosplaying as a vampire, speaking only like "Va, I want to suck your blood," playing this deck, I will love you forever. And my idea of the steak dinner for somebody who topped
Is extending to the Vampire Masquerade deck?
If you top 8 with the Vampire Masquerade deck.
If you top 8 with the Vampire Masquerade deck while masquerading as a vampire at a GP, Mike will pay for your steak dinner.
You have to be in character the whole time, though. If somebody catches you speaking
in
a normal
full-time
accent, it's off.
It's off. Full commit. Full commit.
If you don't commit to the full...
actor meets card games.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, for sure.
Or, you know what? I'll take that, or I'll take Nick Cage as a vampire.
Oh my god, there's blood.
I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!
Okay, well, you have the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. At any GP? Mike did say any GP, but you have to be the full commit with like the costume, the personality, playing the deck.
I need pictures and video to make sure that it's all legit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if you don't have proof, I can't do anything about that.
That's true. Not an online, not some silly online GP either. It's got to be in person, full commit.
You have to fully commit in person. Alejandro, don't try and get on a technicality. I don't know how expensive steak is in Spain, but I'll put out as much Monopoly money as I can to get you a steak dinner if you do whatever you need to do.
Here you go.
I believe in you. I know you can do it. You've already gotten second place at Worlds twice, once with an actual vampire in your deck that made your dumbass combo work. But it's okay. It's okay, because you can make it happen again.
Yeah, this is, I mean, like, this is the kind of stuff that just makes me so excited. Like, this Pilgrim Memories, someone mentioned that it's like 180 potential combinations among the 20 rulers. Like, just imagine all the silliness that we can get into off of this set. Like, it's gonna be so cool. I'm super excited. So that's it for us. Those are our 4 spoilers. Hope you guys liked it. We will have more stuff as we go through this week. Feature some announcements again by the 10th of this week. So Wednesday is the close of the orders for the first quarter circuit kits. So if you haven't already talked to your shop about ordering one, you definitely should. So we can get those out to you. The hope is that they will be in your shop's hands by the release of Pilgrim Memories by the end of January, so that you can run events with them. It's going to be very exciting. We look forward to seeing the results. You also can go check out on the Ruler School TCG website our World of Thou page. That is new as of yesterday, where you can get access to our Google map and add your store and where you are as a player as pins on that map, so you can start to get connected. We've already had, I think, 14 stores sign up on there all across the world, so we want to keep growing that, so check that out. Just go give the website some traction as well. Feature match this week will be Solaria versus Order Athenia. And by the way, if you're a channel member, you can watch that feature match tomorrow. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until Wednesday to see that. And we'll have the deck profiles for Order Athenia and Solaria up later this week. So thank you all so much for watching.
Why have you not given your money to Jeremy to watch things a day early? Why would you not do that? I don't.
Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, this has been myself, DMO73, and Last Audience. And I've been joined, as always, by Mike Rants.
I need a Kiki just to put right on here for next time.
Yep.
Like, it's got to be there. Gerardo, I believe
Paul
in
Reisman.
you.
Bewildered.
And for saying, class dismissed.